Hi guys, yeah, live again. Hopefully you can hear me because I haven't actually tested the mic to know if you can hear me or not. Um, so I'm back once again, and I know this is really late to do sort of a review of Doctor Who Resolution. Um, I didn't do one over New Year's because, quite honestly, I was busy with family stuff and things like that. So I really just didn't have the opportunity to do it. But I'm doing it now, so that's good. At least I'm catching up. At least I'm getting there. And I figured, today's a good day to do it because today is, in fact, Tom Baker's birthday. So, why not do it today? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. I've actually got Doctor Who Resolution queued up on my TV. And what I thought I'd do is I'm going to hit play and watch the episode and then comment on the episode as it goes along. I think that's probably a good way to do it. So you might be able to hear every now and again hear the soundtrack. Hopefully not though, because I don't want to get a copyright strike for watching an episode of Doctor Who. That'll be in 5 minutes. So if you want to watch it with me, you can. I'll let you know when I'm hitting play. But first things first, I want to talk about the things that are surrounding this series of Doctor Who, as well as the this episode, because I'm really disappointed in the fandom, and I'm disappointed in the fact that I'm disappointed at how some people react. And talk about an overreaction is probably the best way to look at it. A massive overreaction, in fact. People seem to be forgetful of the fact that one, Doctor Who is a kids' TV show. Okay, it is. I'm sorry if you call it a family TV show or whatever. It's a kids' TV show, right? I'm a big fan of Doctor Who. I've been a fan all my life. But even I can accept that it is, in fact, a kids' TV show. You can call it a family TV show if it makes you sleep better at night. The facts is facts. Doctor Who was done and created for kids' TV viewing. Okay? So, on all those grounds, I think it does a bang-up job. I think it does it very well. The fact that we've been spoiled and I've ended up with a show that we've had for the past few years, which has been a bit more towards the adult age demographic, is neither here nor there. It was never meant for adults. It was never made for adults. It was made for a very young audience. And the problem I've got is that a lot of people I've seen complaining, and they seem to have bandied themselves together into these groups, these haters of this new series of Doctor Who. And look, I fully admit this series of Doctor Who has not been great, right? If you've seen my reviews of this season, you know full well that I have not been a massive supporter of this series. But when it's been good, it's been good, and I've acknowledged that. I've acknowledged its low points as well as its high points. So, where do I begin with these haters? First of all, they point out irrelevant things, like the low scores on Rotten Tomatoes for audience scores. Well, obviously, yes, because you've got a lot of people that are banded together going harumph, and then going over to Rotten Tomatoes and voting it down. Well, of course, it's going to have a low audience score. I dare say there are probably some. I'm not saying a lot, but I dare say that there are some that are voting it down without ever actually watching the episode, because they're just dead against it, so they're going to vote it down. So I would totally ignore the Rotten Tomatoes score. The other thing is that a lot of people have drawn to the numbers that the episode got. And what I hate here is that these people have used this argument, but what they've done is they've cherry-picked the details. They've cherry-picked the information that supports their argument, right? So what they've said is that, hey, you know what? That episode of Doctor Who, that episode Resolution that went on New Year's, it was the lowest episode rating of Doctor Who. Lowest. There we go. And they're right. The viewing figures for that episode of Doctor Who was the lowest for this season. It was the lowest for this season. For Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, it was the lowest. For Peter Capaldi, those were pretty good viewing figures. In fact, those were great viewing figures. For Matt Smith, they were kind of alright. They were kind of on the norm. They weren't fantastic, but they were kind of last going off. Those were the sort of viewing figures Matt Smith was doing. The other thing that they've totally blanked and totally left out is the fact that, yes, the overnights pulled 5.6 million people. So, and it is the lowest viewing figures for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Absolutely true. What they have failed to point out, though, is that the episode went out on New Year's Day. And on New Year's Day, out of over 200 channels, over 4,000 TV shows, they've seemed to have forgotten that Doctor Who came in fourth. Think about that. I mean, just think about that as a statistic. Here, over 200 channels, over 4,000 TV shows, it came in fourth on its viewing figures. That is not bad. I don't give a shit what sort of planet you are on. You can call these viewing figures the worst viewing figures of Jodie Whittaker's run if you want. Fine, do so. But when you look at the viewing figures, the UK viewing figures for Doctor Who on that day, it came in fourth. I don't give a shit what it was pulling in the US. I don't give a toss what it was doing in France. I don't give a toss what it was doing in Italy. No offense to those countries, because I don't have access to that sort of data. I probably do if I wanted to look it up, but I'm not going to, because the BBC make Doctor Who to be shown in this country. That's BBC Wales makes Doctor Who to be shown in the UK. That's what it's for. That's what it was aired for. That's what it was made for. The fact that it gets aired and viewed internationally is neither here nor there. So I'm concerning myself with the viewing figures in the UK, and in the UK it came in the fourth watched show on that day. Now, if you're going to blank that as a statistic, then whatever else other arguments you've got, I'm going to brush aside and say you're just talking out your ass. And yeah, I mean, it's... And the other thing that pisses me off with these haters is that they can continually rah-rahing against these other, like, R.I.P. Doctor Who. Doctor Who is dead to me. I've watched every episode this season and it's dead to me. And when the next special comes out, I will watch that too, and that will be dead to me as well. Stop fucking watching it. If you don't like it, why are you watching it? Dickhead. Don't be so bastard stupid. Really, seriously. Like, and I don't know what these people are rallying against. I genuinely don't. Like, oh, Doctor Who's got an agenda. Good, it means they're organised. I mean, like, look, I get it that there's things that you can complain about with the show. That there are things that you can honestly look at with the show and go, do you know what, let's not do that. Let's not go there. But they're still feeling it out. They're still working it out. They're still going there. A lot of people have panned this show ever since they heard that Jodie Whittaker was going to be the Doctor. From the very beginning. You go back and have a look at some of the trailers and everything on the reveal, and it was like R.I.P. Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017, all that sort of shit. And it's still going on, and these people are bandied together now. And anytime somebody comes up with an argument that reasonably supports them, oh, bang, straight on that, isn't they? All banding together. Now, here's the thing. I think, quite honestly, Doctor Who has some work to do, right? I genuinely do, and I don't mean like it needs to have do some work in terms of character development and character building and all this stuff. I think it needs to do some work in the fact that it needs to relax a bit, and that's what it needs to do. is not try so goddamn hard. Because I think that any time the show let up and had fun, that it was having fun. We were having fun, but you can't watch the show. You can't be one of these people that is going to watch the show and purely watch it as a hater. Like, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. Look, I stopped watching Supergirl, right? I enjoyed Supergirl season 2. I enjoyed season 1. It was okay. Season 2, I thought it got better. After that, it kind of went downhill. I stopped watching it, right? Same with The Flash. You probably, if you've seen other videos on my channel, you've seen that I've done a video about Iris West and how that character just got on my absolute tits. And so I've just stopped watching the show. If you don't like Doctor Who, then why watch it? Now, I get that, people can be upset because, they were Doctor Who fans and they're not Doctor Who fans now because the show isn't doing what it used to be to them. I really don't know what they're expecting this show to do. I mean, look, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, as far as I can tell, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor she's very Patrick Troughton. Like, she is very Patrick Troughton. A lot of people have said, she just seems to be doing something, very sort of David Tennant, very Matt Smith. Go back. You really don't know your Doctor Who if you think that's what's going on with her. She's very much the second Doctor. She is the second Doctor in a female form. No, she's not quite nailing it the same way Patrick Troughton did, and that's a fair statement as well because Patrick Troughton, as far as I'm concerned, he was the best Doctor in the first place. Because the second he took over that role, every single time, every single thing that Patrick Troughton brought to the character is still in the character today. Everything. So yeah, I mean, she's not doing it quite as successfully as the way Patrick Troughton did, but that's the way it is. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to queue up the episode, and then because I've been going on rambling on for over 12 minutes, so I'm going to queue up the episode now, and we're going to make a start watching Resolution. So hopefully this will work. Let's take a look. Here we go. Ooh, the opening. Now, I didn't. When this happened on New Year's, I'm going to be honest here. When this opening happened, I didn't actually know this was Doctor Who. Because they didn't have the opening sequence, I thought this was some sort of trailer for, I don't know, Vikings or something. I just genuinely, I didn't know. So I was sitting there watching, I was like, wait a minute, this is the show, this is Doctor Who. I think it's filmed well. So I like the fact that it's decided to do this sort of historical bit to show, how it's affected through time, how the archaeology and things pay off. But without the title sequence, without that is just cold open. I'm not a fan. It missed something not having the title sequence, and I mean, look, they all look, all the actors look good, all the costumes look good, the locations look fine. Production value wise, that's a nice shot. Taking that arrow to the shoulder, that was a lovely shot. It was a good cut as well. It was a good one where because you see him fire the arrow and then it cuts to the reverse angle and you see him absorb the hit.
Leaving the other two custodians and their descendants
Ooh, he's dead. He is. Nice transition, nice pan. I thought that looked good. I thought that done well to go for the archaeologist. I'm a bit disappointed that these two made it alive. I mean, it was kind of smoochy and it's kind of nice, and I get it. You know, it was New Year's. You don't want to do a show about people dying on New Year's, and but it is Doctor Who, and if you're not gonna do a Christmas episode and you're gonna do shift it to New Year's and you're gonna do this, go all out. I mean, they do go out a bit, push out the boat out a little bit later on, which is a lovely moment, but we'll get to that when we get to it. This whole bit here with the archaeologists discovering sort of each other as well as the Dalek, and it's kind of, it's nicely done. I think they should play well as well. These two actors here are playing this sort of awkward kind of two people getting together scene. It's done really reasonably well. I'm not sure that it's something that was necessarily needed for this episode. But then again, I would say the same sort of thing with Ryan's dad as well. I'm not so sure that was entirely needed for the episode. But it is what it is. And that sounds awesome. This is my favorite year ever. Already, one day in. I think the set looks good. That's another thing as well, was that I'm not sure where it's supposed to be. What it's supposed to be under, but it looks good, because my initial thought was, it looks like, you know, sort of the Roman settlements of Bath, but it's not, and it's clearly, you know, part of the studio. There's a nice little thing. One of the background props. There's a computer screen in the background, and it's got like a CG recreation of the tunnels that they're under, and it's just spinning and rotating in the background. And you don't really see it, but it is there. If you pay attention and watch it, you'll see it. It's a nice little thing. It's just one of those little bits of detail that are added to the show. It's what, you know, the people in the props department are doing well. They're absolutely nailing it, and they just goes to show the amount of work that they're putting into the show. Cut from Auckland to Serbia. Oh, and it's gone. Oh, and it's gone. And it's alive. And now we're going to the TARDIS. I still don't like that TARDIS interior. I'm sorry. I've had all season to get used to it. It still looks like a bucket of piss. Gosh, crap.
19 New Year's Eve in a row. Which was your favourite?
I've got to get around to doing a video about the TARDIS interior and about what I would have done instead, and how I would change it, how I would make it better, or how for my preference. But yeah, I just don't like it, and I think, you know, we know that. I don't know if the TARDIS crew being overcrowded is a valid argument. You know, there's 3 companions on the Doctor, And I know there's a lot of people going, oh, you see, look, it's never worked. It's never worked and it can't work. It's too overcrowded. Do you know, there were 7 cast members till Star Trek The Next Generation, and they all worked. So I don't think 4 people's too much. I just feel like we need to find better things to do with the characters. Certainly with Yaz, who is apparently absent in this episode, even though she's in it. Yeah, I kind of caught on to what was going on when she discovers the Dalek, and the Dalek's gone, and she's got. I caught on straight away, and I think it's a good idea as well. I think it's nice to do something new with the Daleks, because let's be honest here, they've been around for nearly 60 years, and it's to be able to do something brand spanking new with them. And I mean, as with the Dalek creature itself, not just what will they do with the Dalek tank in this episode. I mean, that is stunning. That is disgusting and absolutely vile, but at the same time, it's absolutely amazing. The fact that Doctor Who could do that with that Dalek or squidging on the wall, come on. What sort of era are we living in when that's a possibility? I'm not keen on that. The guy actually noticing the TARDIS appear. I think that's not right. The whole point around the perception filter and stuff like that is, I mean, maybe he's alert. Maybe that's an excuse, a valid reason, but I just don't like that.
Yeah, there's something on the wall back there. What sort of something?
Yes, I did. The second she was like, there's something on the wall, I was like, right, it's on you. I got it. It's jumped on you and it's got you.
It's moved. What does it look like? Like a massive sort of squid thing.
Yes, don't stick your finger in it.
Can you get something to store this in for analysis and information?
Again, yeah, this is an episode whereby Yaz was completely absent. I mean, you'd have thought, like, with her being a police officer, that she could have used her influence to get into places and given that they're supposed to be back in, I mean, they're in Yorkshire, but she's still a police officer, so she could have still gone into compounds and still opened doors, and she could have, flashed the badge. No, they've totally written this character off, and so have I. But again, I don't think it's a problem with the TARDIS being crowded. I just think it's just the writing. It's just badly written. When they do it well, they do it well. But when they don't, they don't. And Yaz is one of those things that just isn't done well. The Doctor could be done a little bit better as well. And to be honest with you, the Doctor really should be the focus of the show.
I'll go to the department tomorrow. Let me know what's happened. I guess some kids go to that thing, no?
Not right now.
No, right, of course. I didn't.
I'm a bit freaked out.
I'll call you if I hear anything from you. Maybe we'll be back in tomorrow.
I'll tell you what I do like about the new Dalek, okay? I like the fact that they've managed to canonize and make a new Dalek, and also something that we've never seen before. So it hasn't altered any of the Daleks previous to this, but it's still giving us something that we've just never seen. And that's a really difficult thing to do, to actually go back into the canon and go, guess what? There's this version, and you've never seen it, and it still works because it still makes somewhat sense in terms of how Daleks operate.
I'm not sure. Well, if you will leave chairs around the place, this is my front room. Where's your kitchen? I just need to get some eggs to check the protein alignment and go. Oh, is that your intruder alert online?
It's the doorbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit dull.
Mum?
Great reaction of Graham. Bradley Walsh is just nailing this show, man. Just absolutely nailing it.
Not really, yes, no. This is yours. You thought so?
Yeah, I think bringing Ryan's dad into this episode, I think they sold his character short anyway. But again, that's been a problem with the show. It's been overcrowded, overcrammed. The story plot points have been just like loaded in, and there's so many plot points loaded in that none of them ever get a proper payoff. And that's really been this season. Too many things going on, not enough focus on any one of them. So
Yeah, good job. Good job. I just get cool. Now, Climb.
Ryan's dad.
yes, Ryan's dad.
It's complicated.
It is.
That's us.
I don't get what I don't get what they've given Jodie Whittaker here. These sorts of reactions are weird because the Doctor's been the Doctor for a very, very long time. The fact that the Doctor's now a woman having these sort of reactions is a bit. You can understand it if it was like the sort of the second Doctor or third even, but unless you're going to bring back in the Doctor's family, it's a bit of a weird reaction to have. It's like she's pining for something, and it's something that's absent in her life, and I'm not sure that's how I like my Doctor. I don't like the fact that she's somewhat incompetent in places, because the Doctor can make mistakes, yes, but not really incompetent. See, now you've got this whole thing with the Dalek on her back. I'm not entirely sold on the fact that it's a CG shot. I don't really think it's just good. It's nice. I know I shouldn't complain about it, but I think it could have been done a little bit better. That's all.
All brain and motor functions are under my power. Silence.
Yes.
See how I control you. Turn. Look. You are my prisoner now. You are mine.
Musical score's good, quite good here as well. It's quite good at building up the tension and quite thumping along.
Let's see what we've got.
It was nice the sort of the clash at the end as it cuts back to the TARDIS. It goes back to this more
Look like it would look great.
what's the word, solemn, I guess, environment. But it starts, you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it, but the sort of, you pick it up and then you get the sting. And the it's like, I know what it is.
Sit.
Don't lean back.
Open the machine.
It'll get messy, it'll get squidgy.
You must know everything of this planet's capability, its systems, its weapons, and its armies. Everything.
So this episode is very reminiscent of the episode Dalek. And I know that there are some people have complained that it's too much like Dalek. I really don't have a problem with it being similar to that because it's re-establishing the Daleks. And if you're going to re-establish the Daleks, you kind of need to cut it right the way back down to a single solitary Dalek as opposed to an army. Because if you don't know how dangerous one is, you don't have a grasp on how dangerous a lot of them are. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, you know, we've seen Daleks before, but when they were re-establishing these Daleks, they were re-establishing the Daleks for people who had never seen Doctor Who before. So I think this is a really good way to do it. And yeah, okay, they might be mimicking the episode Dalek, but that was 11 years ago. 12 years ago, in fact. So yeah, 2019, so 2005, so 14 years ago. Yeah, you're getting old. And I am too. Yes, mathematics are a bitch.
How's it getting about?
Can't drive for shit. Nobody made a woman's driver's joke. Seriously? Nobody ever did. Women drivers, come on. They took the piss out of Marina Sirtis for crashing the Enterprise all those years back. It was an impressive skit. In fairness, that was quite. You'd be pantsing them if you were in that car. Now I know this is supposed to be Yorkshire, but I'm pretty convinced that's Neath. I'd be fairly confident on that. Because it does definitely look like the Swansea Neath bypass. It's just the windmills and the arrangement of the houses on the hillside.
You are an enemy of the Daleks.
You see, there's this cop out here now that's about to get lynched by this Dalek. And this is an opportunity for the character of Yaz to kind of do a bit of her own investigating and to show something of her own character and to sort of step up and it never happens. Yeah, if you're going to nick them in like a cop car, why not? See, now here's one of the problems I've got with this episode is the fact that it is cutting back now to Ryan and his dad, and this is an unnecessary bit of. If you've got doing an episode whereby you want something really sort of exciting on the go and something, this is just killing the pace, and you know, if you've got a 60-minute show, I get this is just padding the show out. This is just like chucking something else in to fill time while we mark time to get on to something that's actually decent, good, exciting, I should say. Lots of shows do it these days. Lots of shows do it. I've seen plenty of... I like watching shows like The Expanse, Ascension, Westworld. They all do it. They all slow the show down to a crawl. And it pisses me off that all sci-fi shows these days seem to just be out there to sort of win an award for best drama. Because they can these days. Before, when sci-fi shows couldn't, when a sci-fi show winning a drama award was something new, that it was like, oh, that's a bit unusual. That sci-fi show won a drama award. That's unique. It must be good. And now these days, because it's a popular thing, all of them are trying so hard to win the drama award. And I just want them to have fun. That's why I love the Lost in Space show. Lost in Space is a bucket of crap. Absolute bucket of crap. You can't take that show seriously at all. But it is so much bloody fun. It's like Sci-Fi was able to fart once again. It was just, that's what I love with the show. It knows that you can't take it seriously. So don't. Just go with it. Have fun.
I know this may have hard for you.
I think, there's some good moments like this moment here with Ryan where he's talking to his dad and he's telling him, what he thinks that his father should say to him and stuff like that. And it's just a really nice dramatic moment. It's not for this episode though. Like this belongs in its own episode. And again, it goes back to the fact that once again Ryan is receiving some real good character stuff, and Graham is involved. He's in tandem with that. Those two are kind of this now. Ever since the fist bump and the whole granddad thing, these two are I've been intertwined since day one, but they're really interconnected now. And once again, Yaz is left out. I know it's a complaint that I keep banging back onto, but I mean, in terms of if you were to look at the Star Trek: The Next Generation cast, she's not Deanna Troi. Yaz would be your Mr. Mott, the barber. I mean, at this point, anyway. And again, scenes like this, the great dramatic moments, the nice moments to have, but they're just killing the pace out of the show. Like, it's somewhere along the line, the writer's just going to go, oh wait, there's a Dalek on the loose. Christ. Let's just write something in about the Dalek. It's not a massive complaint that I've got with it. I think the things that I absolutely love about this episode. See that's a nice moment where the TARDIS just lands to pick him up.
You got it. Come on, help me do that. Even better than that. Deep breath, Mitch. Welcome to the TARDIS. Now we've got the DNA.
Yes.
We can rig up the TARDIS to gather any of the traces in this tiny corner of space at a time.
God, I don't like those dippy finger things. Garbage. I hope that's changed for the next season. Or is it season 12? It's got a year to. Well, actually, no, it doesn't actually, does it? Because it's already gone into production, so it's already there.
Oh, don't tell me. When you uncover something, you leave it under the ultraviolet light you have in the sewers.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet light activates the dormant creature, bringing it back to life. Did you say 9th century?
Yeah.
There's been a Dalek buried on Earth since the 9th century.
See, I get some of the complaints that people make for Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I do understand. There's this whole, but it's not her. And I've heard people actually complain about Jodie Whittaker as an actor, and it's like, you've got to be absolutely joking.
Were you together all the time?
No, she went off to look for one of the missing artifacts.
If you're complaining that you don't think Jodie Whittaker is a good actor, then that's where your argument falls on his ass. Because she's an amazing actor. You've just got to give her the material.
Lynn's number is in the episode. If I connect it to the TARDIS, we can locate her. Getting something? No. What's this? There! Biofixable location in the Dalek DNA. Reference. The signal triangulation of Lynn's phone. This is the same place. Lynn and that creature that you get now.
You mean it's holding our hostage?
I'm really sorry, Bishop.
Mhm.
It's cooler than that. It's using her to live about.
So,
How can you be such a...
I learned to think like a Dalek a long time ago.
there's a bile missing here, isn't there? There's a hatred for the Dalek, and it's just something absent in Jodie's performance there. I think it's maybe it's because she's not a Doctor Who fan that she doesn't really have a deep understanding of the Doctor's hatred for the Daleks and the Daleks' hatred for the Doctor. Well, not anymore anyway. Actually, that's something that they could probably actually square up to and say, well, you know, the Daleks have actually forgotten who the Doctor is thanks to Clara. Well, was it Souffle Girl in the Dark Asylum?
Especially advanced from the basic Dalek, the first to leave Skaro, possibly the first to reach Earth. So, even worse than the really bad thing
Right, so that actually does tally up with some of Doctor Who, in fact. That's actually, if you know your Doctor Who history, you'll know that, you know, they would have had to have happened previous to 1963. They would have had to have been what would they class as a later Dalek, would have had to have actually happened sooner, because the Daleks that happen later are ones that have been buried underground.
Today it's just me.
And what would have happened previous to 1963, obviously, is in remembrance of the Daleks. That's when the year that Skaro got destroyed. So, So yeah, the Dalek history is a little bit all over the place, but this actually does. If you write it down and sort of time it out, it actually does make a fair bit of sense. That the earlier Daleks, the ones that would have, from just after Genesis of the Daleks, would have still had to have left Skaro. What would have been in Earth's 9th century. Ooh, badass. Dalekanium. See, now here's the thing. Somebody actually pointed out to me about where does this Dalek get the missiles from? And she's literally just loaded up the car with stuff. And you don't know what's in that stuff. So that's okay. I thought it was a bit kind of naff seeing these sort of missiles come at the front of the Dalek, but there's plenty of stuff there. The Dalek and Nick rocket launchers.
What sort of Dalek are you anyway?
She actually called it a refugee from the planet Skaro, which means,
Recon Scout.
you know, they actually are applying the history that Skaro is gone.
In your dreams, mate, you've got no testing, no weapons, and no chance.
I have weapons.
Right. Okay. Well, what do you do? You've got a weapon after all. A lot of good it's going to do you.
This planet is now the property
See,
of Daleks.
I know 7 million people.
well, look, here's the other thing with Jodie here, is that she's on the microphone, she's talking to a Dalek, right? I don't want to compare her to other Doctors here, but the person writing this should know enough about Doctor Who to know the remembrance of the Daleks, at least, and to know that the Doctor talking to a Dalek is going to have some venom with it. Hello, Danny. Hello. Septic Kubras, yes. Hello. Yeah, just going through Doctor Who resolution. I've actually got it on, watching it whilst I'm talking about it, blabbering away. How's things? Hope you can hear me. No, I'm pretty good now. Actually, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I stopped watching after about 20 minutes of the episode resolution. It's after the 20-minute mark that it actually gets good. We just get up to the point. Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Do you know? I don't actually mind Jodie. Again, what I was saying with the way that they've written the character in this show, there's the whole speech that she's given to the Daleks there, and in remembrance of the Daleks, the Seventh Doctor is talking to Davros, and when he does it, there's venom behind it. There's this absolute, and we're talking about the unlimited rice pudding speech here, but he's not just spitting at them; he's berating them as well, and it lacks Chibnall wrote this episode, I think. I'm pretty sure, convinced, and what he's actually given her to do, what he's asking her to do, it's really underwhelming stuff, and they could do better. Again, my problem with this episode, more than anything else, is the fact that it's 60 minutes long and it's 10 minutes too long, and they're stretching it out. Out of the tune, whereby she's phoned Unit, and Unit aren't there. So yeah, it's like there's zero love for the past Doctors. Most of the eps are men bad, women good. I think like the worst one is probably that they did is probably Arachnids in the UK for me. That when they started doing that Trump allegorical character that they threw into it, it was just that was rubbish. It's not. I mean, like I do think like Rosa was a brilliant episode. I think Demons of the Punjab was a brilliant episode as well. But again, it's just the fact that they've thrown in so much. They've packed these episodes with lots of different things going on, and you can't really resolve any one of them because there's too much happening. So you can't really satisfy any ending that's going to make all these things come together. And if it doesn't do that, you just got all these loose ends everywhere. But as for the Zero, there are some nice touches that they bring up in these episodes that touch back on the other Doctors, but again, it's like this is a whole new Doctor now that they've totally forgotten. Because I said much earlier on that they were doing that they were looking at Jodie Whittaker like the second Doctor, like, but she's clearly the Patrick Troughton now, but she's just not Patrick Troughton. That's the end of it. She's not. Look, Patrick Troughton to me is the Doctor. He is my Doctor. I know I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but Patrick Troughton is my Doctor. He's the best that's ever stepped foot in the TARDIS. What we got here? Granted, there are some good parts of the season, but the part where the Doctor teleports the bounty hunter away, he is like a throwaway bad guy. Yeah, I mean, look, that was a problem that I had with a lot of the season, was the fact that most of the bad guys walked away. That was a huge problem for me. Pertwee was mine. I do love Pertwee. He was nice, and he was nice to me as well when I had the opportunity to meet him in person. So he was he was very he was a very lovely individual. Always had time for the fans. So we go to this part here now where the Dalek is about to be assembled, and first of all she's going to whack this person here. There's all the welding kit and everything. It's a good establishing shot. It's a good setup for, it's showing you exactly. So directorial wise and cinematography wise, it's actually doing a very good job of setting up what's to come. He's dead. Good overkill there. Little blast would have killed, but she just held the trigger down. I do like this Dalek. I've got to be honest. I do like the look of this Dalek. And what I like about this Dalek, as opposed to all the others, is that this Dalek is too small for a person to fit inside. That's brilliant. That is absolutely it. Because all the other Daleks, even the bigger Daleks, the big bestial multicolored ones. That's why it didn't work, because you knew that you could get somebody inside there. This one, it's got a wide base, but it's really narrow middle, and you just can't, because you can see through these slots and gaps. You can really see that there's nothing in there. The filmography wise, it is a good episode. It is, yeah. But I mean, look, I've got tired of singing this show's praises for its production values and its VFX and how it looks and how it sounds, and you've got to draw back on the story. And if the stories don't hold up, it doesn't hold up. When it's done it well, I've said that it's done it well, and when it hasn't, it hasn't. Like for me, my favorite episode is The Witchfinders. It's my favorite episode. It's the most Doctor Who-like story, whereas what the hell was the one where they were in Norway? It Takes You Away. Oh, what a bucket of piss. What an absolute shambles of an episode. And I get that there are people out there that like it. I get it, I understand it. But Christ, was it shite. Especially with that bloody rubber frog. Oh my god. Like, it's inexcusable. I miss the Cybermen, lol. But then again, I'm a fan of them, so I've always been kind of picture the banter from Missy, and it'd be good to see. I'd like. Do you know what? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. What I would actually like is a Doctor Who episode which actually goes back and ties episodes in from previous Doctors. And I don't mean, goes back into, say, like Earth Shock or something. I'm not saying like I don't want to see a Doctor Who episode. I mean, it would be good to do like a sort of Trials and Tribulations type episode whereby the Doctor ends up inside, an old Doctor Who episode. That would be fairly cool to recreate those sorts of things, to do that sort of episode. But what I mean is that I'd like to see a fifth Doctor story. So we bring back Peter Davison to do a fifth Doctor story, but then have it to do to tie into a new, because you've still got all the other Doctors. That would be epic. I can't say the other word. Yes. I think it would be a good idea to do that. But look, you got the 8th Doctor. You could do an 8th Doctor story that ties in with the new Doctor. You could dovetail it so it starts with one Doctor and ends with the other. There's no reason why not to. Not much done with him in the past. The film. I mean, come on. Even with the film, the best thing he ever did was Night of the Doctor. So, 10-minute episode. There it is. There it is. And there it is, the sonic waving. Crap. Expelliarmus! Or Expelliarmus, whatever you want to do. I love that. Is such a lovely little design. God. I'm not so keen on the red glowy bit underneath when it talks. But it's, you just can't, you cannot fit somebody inside that thing. I mean, it makes sense that it would be sort of remote control these days. And why not? But, I mean, I know it's such a simple thing to do, given that we've had remote control Daleks for a long time. But even then, you know, to see it on the show, good, nice, very nice. Also no talk of the Time Lords and what they're up to. I'm shocked that you haven't looked at Scratch building it. Well, I building that Dalek. I'm waiting for more information. I'm waiting for more reference material. That's what I'm waiting for. That's something that I desperately want. But yeah, I even like how the lens works, because if you look, when the lens goes up and down, it's like the light is so far back from the lens that you can actually see this sort of like parallax. See, I mentioned earlier the fact that the Daleks had the information of the Doctor deleted. So I'm not entirely sure where in the timeline this Dalek comes from, that this Dalek would actually remember the Doctor, because that information was deleted from the hive. But as a Dalek design, that is a lovely Dalek design. Look, they've got the Daleks wrong several times, and to get it that right, to get it something, because the Daleks have always got to look like a tank. It's always got to look like a thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Steven Spielberg had a crack at doing a Dalek before, and I saw the test results of that, and that was not good. That was not a Dalek. And if Steven Spielberg can cock it up, that's how easy it is to get wrong. Because actually, he was actually looking at directing a Doctor Who film years ago. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That TARDIS interior is a bucket of balls. It's just all over the place. It's all different bright colours of shit everywhere. Oh. And the crystal thumb. Tough son of a gun, like walking brick shit house. You can build anything, mate. Or a dwarf of yours still blows me away. Why don't you work for the BBC Pro? Well, if they'd have me. I really did like doing the Red Dwarf, actually. Red Dwarf was, I was really happy to give that to the client. Because it was just, I was really proud of the work that I did on that, so. Oh, God, that does look badass. I love that claw as well. It's the plunger. And here it goes. Just want to kick the living piss out of some group of soldiers. Again, the missiles coming out a bit pap. But again, look, it nicked a lot of armor from the police impound. So why couldn't it nick rocket launchers? Why not? Jesus, I was right in the head. Like not even in the chest, that was right in the face. Whoop ass! Good reactions on these people, considering what they're acting against. It's really good. Bang, bang, bang. Again, this is very reminiscent of Dalek, but I mean, why would you change it up? Why, Jesus Christ. The things that they get wrong and the things that they do right. I mean, the pros and cons here. That new death, that was nothing but death. I like that as well. The head turning around and the iris is just this dot of light right in the middle. So that's a bit pants. It fires, it shoots the bullet out of the air and hits the tank. I know it's a genius. I know the Dalek is this amazing thing, but that's to shoot the missile out of the air and then deflect that missile into the tank is a bit. It's not a bit pants. It's a lot pants. See, if I was here, I would have talked to the Dalek about Skaro and what happened to Davros, etc. Yeah, I mean, you know, she's going to talk to Dalek. There's plenty of things that this Doctor, had it been another Doctor, like I said before, if it had been sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, you know, he had nothing but venom for the Daleks. You know, and he was there to sort of see Davros to his death. Same sort of thing with the 12th. Of course, the 9th. In the episode Dalek, the 9th was there just to roast it. Oh. Yeah, just shouldn't have been there. Ryan's dad should not have been in this episode at all. It's not the place for it. What was really... So it goes to GCHQ, right? In this episode. And what was really freaky about that was that it was only like a couple of days before that me and my son... Because my son was actually in Cheltenham, which is where GCHQ is. And he was in university in Cheltenham, and my mother happened to point out the fact that, you know, that's where GCHQ is, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the next year it's in Doctor Who, and we're like, oh, we were literally just passing that place. So yeah, it was like when Smith became Doctor and was cloned, and his clone said, "You're a jelly baby," and "Hello, I'm the Doctor," and tell him voice, etc. Oh yeah, I mean those sort of moments when they reiterate stuff from the Doctor's past. It is a as I said, yeah, it's a handshake. It's nice to actually, but there's things that they could have done made it easier for themselves, and they have made it easier. They made it more difficult on themselves by, you know, they could have had something like the hat stand in the TARDIS. They could have just had the hat stand by the door. It's a very, very simple thing, you know. You know, even when they done Tennant, when he was just getting dressed into his own Doctor costume in Christmas Invasion, when he was in they actually had the Tom Baker costume on the stand. You know, there's things that they could have done that could have made it a lot easier on themselves. Or a new K9 or something. They've got enough companions. I think. Again, it's not that there's too many companions in the TARDIS, because as I said earlier, there are 7 cast members in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and you wouldn't be without any one of them. So the fact that there are 4 people in the TARDIS does not make the TARDIS overcrowded. It just means that the people who write in it could do a better job. So Yaz again absent in this episode. Don't care about Yaz. She's done as far as I'm concerned as a character. I am amazed Graham didn't die in this episode. Absolutely bloody amazed. I mean, I don't know what else there is to do with this character. I don't know. I love Bradley Walsh as Graham in Doctor Who. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's the best character in the show. But he's done. His character has no more to do. He's got Graham to call him Grandad, and he's finally got a fist bump out of him. He's everything, all his goals. He's got Ryan on the right track. Everything. It's all done. Good God, they beat the Daleks with a microwave. Yes. Yeah, he done all the goals that the character was ever meant to do. He done absolutely everything the character was there to do. I think it's just because people love Graham. He's the most popular character in the show. But that's a good reason to get rid of him. That's a good reason to kill him. Because you wouldn't. He's one of those people you wouldn't kill, and that's good enough reason to go kill him. Yeah, this whole thing whereby the Dalek survived and attached itself onto his dad, and you see, this is why I would have had Graham die, and that's because this whole bit whereby he's hanging out the door and hanging out the side of the TARDIS, and they turn the shield off and all the air starts rushing out. It should have been Graham's moment to, take the heroic death and sort of go, right then, I'm gonna, and spear the Dalek out through the doors.
Whatever you want, just promise me you'll let him go.
You are my prisoners now.
Because I just don't feel that anybody cares enough about Ryan's dad, even Ryan. And there's something as well. I don't think the Doctor would ever let a Dalek into that TARDIS without it being contained or something. To have like the Doctor wouldn't let Cybermen in there. When the Cybermen broke into the TARDIS, way back in, what was that? 5th Doctor, I think. The Doctor weren't happy about that. Yeah, that would have been the 25th anniversary. That would have been the 5 Doctors. That's when they gained access to the TARDIS. Yes, some Doctor Who bullshit science going on there. A vacuum corridor just big enough for a Dalek to fit through. There's a lovely, nice redesign on the Dalek as well. I do like the squidgy Dalek redesign a lot more than I thought I was going to. But yes. Here we go. Aggie, just die. Like, no, he's a character nobody gives a shit about, and yet they've given this character some sort of importance to Ryan, and we've already established in previous episodes that he's not important to Ryan. Good music score, big visuals, and this is probably the best musical score he did all season, in fact, because I liked some of the music that he did in, like, particularly in Demons of the Punjab, where he had a very strong Indian theme going on. But it's still, the musical score still lacks the hero theme. And that's been a problem all season, is that Doctor Who has not had a hero theme. Every time the Doctor's done something Doctor-ish, Doctor Heroic, there's been no musical theme to back it up.
That's everything back in place. Next
I don't know if that's an inexperience with the writer, because I know this is the first TV show he's done. He's done like a small independent film and a couple of things here or there. In fact, he's very good actually at some of the musical stuff that he's done. He's got on his YouTube channel, but this is kind of showing some sort of inexperience whereby he doesn't have that musical sting to accompany characters. Characters don't have character themes.
Come on then, you lot. Places to go. When you say places to go, I'm thinking, where to?
I was thinking somebody get a Yaz a character. That's what I was thinking.
Everywhere.
On the first day of the year 2000.
See, all the musical score is it's good when it does the bombastic stuff, and it is. It's really sort of these big sort of the trumpets kick in and all that. And yeah, great visuals from Ben Pickles as well. Can I knock that off from here? Yes, I can. So that's New Year's resolution, Doctor Who, on Tom Baker's birthday today as well. Overall, it's a 7. It's too long and too slow paced to be of any real sort of. Again, if they cut out the whole Ryan's dad bit and just focused on the fact that there's a Dalek on the loose on Earth, then I think it would have been a much more compelling episode. Also, her fam, I know, yeah, that can go. Haven't been any real danger like the others. And like the last where he did everything to save them. So, as for the level of threat, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's been a complete lack of threat. I noticed it in Ghost Monument. Ghost Monument was the one whereby they were saying how dangerous the planet was, but nobody died, and nobody even became ill. Never mind died. The only person that actually got injured was the guy who actually tried injuring one of the other robots. But even then, it was that was almost like a self-inflicted kind of thing, and not even one of the companions. Where's the most dangerous? I think Witchfinders was probably the one where. I mean, this goes back to forgetting stuff about the Doctor as well. This is on Chris Chibnall more than anybody else, being the head writer. So the whole bit where in the Witchfinders the Doctor's being dunked on that seat, and it's like, oh my God, the Doctor's going to drown, right? Okay, no, for a start. Because one, it's the name of the title character of the show. Two, the character has a binary pulmonary system, which has been established in previous Doctors that the character can hold the breath for 20 plus minutes. I mean, there's so many things that they forget about with the Doctor throughout. That's why you have the Doctor have companions. It's because you can threaten the Doctor, absolutely, but you know you can't kill the Doctor because you don't have a show. Yeah, and it's mostly people who have no connection with the stories that die. Yeah, he needs to go back to anything other than sci-fi. Do you know, it surprises me how big a Doctor Who fan Chris Chibnall is, and how much he I think maybe he's trying to avoid doing the obvious. But I also think that maybe he was setting up season 1. That I think he was trying to make season 1 some sort of foundation for, because he hasn't done any story arc. He hasn't done any serious sort of story threads. So I'm wondering whether or not he was actually setting up this season with Jodie Whittaker as sort of the base level of, right, then we can go from here now. We can pull on all these threads to tell future stories. So maybe season 12. Maybe season 12 will come back to season 11 and mention things from season 11 that may actually, because like if you look at what Russell T Davies did, Russell T Davies sort of set up the Bad Wolf thing from the second episode or third episode. Was it Unquiet Dead? I think it was. I think it was the third episode in. They set up the Bad Wolf thread, but and then obviously that became more of a thing. But then when season 2 happened, season 3, and then when Stephen Moffat took over in season 5, it was much more of a let's make it a story arc as opposed to. And I don't think there's any. I know that there have been people that are out there who have said that there's no seasonal story arc. It doesn't matter if you've got strong independent stories. I personally would build up a big story, maybe drop a Bad Wolf hint here or there, etc. Again, handshakes. Look, I've said before, I would love to bring back an old companion. I'd love to. The fact that Fraser Hines is still on, working. No, Jamie McCrimmon wouldn't remember the Doctor, but the Doctor would remember Jamie. I'd love to. My favorite one still is Tegan Joanka. I would love to bring back, because what I love with the character of Tegan is she absolutely bastard doesn't want to be there. She, the first time she met the Doctor, she was abducted by the Doctor by sheer accident. She accidentally walked into what she thought was a police box, but it was in fact actually the TARDIS. So when the TARDIS dematerialized, so bringing Tegan back, and the second time when she came back with after she'd left, which was in what's the name of the episode? It's the one where they're in Amsterdam. It's not Time Lash, is it? Time Lash. It's the one where Omega comes back, because she just happens to be there, and she walks around the corner and it's like there's the TARDIS, and it's like crap. I thought I was done with this shit. So that's how I would do it as well. And she's moved on. She's no longer a stewardess. So she's one of those characters that you could bring back again, and she'd see the TARDIS again and be like, "You've got to be kidding me." Bring back Sam, maybe Tegan, Ace. Ace. Right. So I don't know what they did with the Ace storyline, because the rumor was with Ace was that the Doctor was in the Andrew Cartmel storyline was that she was being groomed to become a Time Lord, and the Doctor was grooming her that way because that's he was her professor. That's how Ace referred to him. So he was doing it in a way because he, if I'm understanding this right, the Doctor was dissatisfied with the way that Gallifrey was working, and so was grooming Ace to become a Time Lord. So, because not all Time Lords are from Gallifrey. There's a difference between a Gallifreyan and a Time Lord. That's right. That's why you can be from Gallifrey but not be a Time Lord. But you can also be a Time Lord but not be from Gallifrey. That's a distinction that hasn't actually fully, properly been. It's been dealt with. Hey Ken, how's it going? It's been dealt with in Doctor Who before, whereby they've gone to Gallifrey and the Doctor has seen Gallifreyans that aren't Time Lords. So yeah, I know. I was saying had a story. The current Doctor meets Ace. Look, you could. What I'm saying is that I don't know where they went with that storyline, so I don't know. Like, if you're gonna bring back Ace, is she going to be? Is she still going to be as enamored with the Doctor? Maybe she became a Time Lord. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she's some sort of rebellious figure. I mean, that's how I would tackle it. If I was writing Doctor Who right now and I was going to bring back Ace, Ace would be sort of this sort of almost Mon Mothma figure. That would be, rallying armies and stuff like that to maybe actually, deal with the Time Lords. I don't actually know, but I think that's how I would see Ace. I wouldn't necessarily go along with the idea that that she would be still enamored with the Doctor, because we're getting the inside track on the Time Lords, and the inside track on sort of the Doctor's universe would probably, and given the amount of death that she's seen as well, and the amount of there's bound to be a blackening of the soul there. That's at least how I would approach the character. Also, the Doctor's daughter, whatever happened to her? Do you know, as far as I know, Big Finish have actually started doing a Doctor's daughter storyline. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that they are doing a Jenny storyline in Big Finish. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but that's my understanding, is that Big Finish Productions have actually brought in the Doctor's daughter. So yeah, there's many directions that the show can go in now. Following Resolution, I've said before, right, that I am not against a female Doctor. I absolutely not. Jodie Whittaker. I became enamored with the idea of a female Doctor way back when Joanna Lumley done it in A Curse of Fatal Death. That's when Joanna Lumley was like, because I'd actually bring Joanna Lumley in as the Rani, right? I mean, there are other people because I think the perfect person to play the Rani actually would be probably Gillian Anderson. I probably would bring Gillian Anderson in to play the Rani. Leave the Master on her for a bit. The Master can take a break. So yeah, I would do an evil Ace, maybe another Master-ish style villain. The Doctor has to try to change her back. Well, again, you could do the Rani, because the Rani and Ace, the Rani and the Doctor has got history. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. There's so many directions you could take the show in. I've said, here's what I would have said, right? And this is my thought on what I would have done with Doctor Who. If I had been in charge of Doctor Who, what would I have done differently? The first thing I would have done is I would have got off planet, not come back to Earth. That would have been the first thing that I would have written, is that the Doctor does not come back to Earth this season. Gone. You never see Earth ever again. Not for that season anyway. The companions are aliens. So we get an alien companion. They're not from the 21st century. They're not from the 20th century. They if you are going to have a character that, you know, is... If I was going to bring in a companion that is a human companion, then I would at least bring a companion in from the 1980s. Because then you want something that can actually comment. You want a character that can actually comment on today. And you can't have a character from today comment on today, because it doesn't work. But if you've got a character from the past that could look at an iPhone and go, well, you know, that's just a watch. It's just a pocket watch. Because you open it up, it says the time, and that's what it is. And I've got a wristwatch, which is better than that, because I don't have to... You know, there's stuff that they could write in with a character like that, which you can't do today, because people are just accepting of the technologies that we have. Whereas if you take somebody from the past and bring them into the future, they can actually look at the sort of where they would expect us to be, where our technology is, and actually make comment on it. You know, like for example, Back to the Future, right? Back to the Future Part 2 with the hoverboards and stuff like that. You'd expect somebody from the 80s to be like, you know, where are they? You know, flying cars, where are they? You know, and we've done nothing with it. We've just, you know, things haven't gone quite that way. Too bad. I'd like to see Jenna Coleman as the Doctor. Oh, good grief. She was the Doctor, unfortunately. Dear. I love Jenna Louise Coleman. She's a cracking actress. She absolutely is. But that character had to go. That character absolutely had to go. She is the best thing in Robot of Sherwood. She is the absolute dog's balls in that episode. 100%. Like, she is the absolute best thing about that. That is a terrible, terrible episode. A terrible story. Badly executed. But my God, that scene between her and the Sheriff of Nottingham is phenomenal. She became stagnant. The problem was that she started becoming the lead of the show. That's the problem with Jenna Louise Coleman, was that she was burying the lead, and you can't do that in Doctor Who. The Doctor has to be the lead, and that's been the problem with season 11, is that the lead has been buried. Graham is the star of this show, right? I mean, Bradley Walsh, for everything that he's done, and I mean, look, he's a powerhouse of a guy, right? In terms of entertainment, if you're an American and you don't really understand Bradley Walsh or know, Bradley Walsh has done absolutely bloody everything that you can ever possibly imagine doing in terms of entertainment. He has entertained everywhere, everyone, everything from football clubs to the royal family. He's done albums, he's done game shows, he's done serious drama, he's done comedies. Like, a lot of people, this is Bradley Walsh's second crack in the Doctor Who universe. People have totally forgotten that he was in Sarah Jane Adventures. That's how you know. Or they could bring back Catherine Tate. They can't really bring back Catherine Tate because she's kind of that character. I don't want them to touch that character because there was something finite about Donald Noble's finish. Or do a Rowan Atkinson Doctor. Love the Red Nose Day. I can see her on Star Trek as number one. Well, as Jenna Coleman. Yeah, I mean, Look, she's a phenomenal actress, right? I can't take that away from her. I started watching Victoria. She's cracking in that. But there's, yeah, again with Doctor Who, you can't bury the leads in Doctor Who, and again, Graham, the character of Graham, is just absolutely crushing everybody else. And it's small things that he does, small touches. It's not heavy-handed stuff that he does. It's really light touches. That there's this moment whereby in the Battle of Vos Kolos, I don't know. I nearly called it the Battle of bloody Los Lobos. That would have been different. Everybody just singing La Bamba. Christ. But in that episode, Graham, where he takes the Doctor aside and says, I'm gonna find this guy, this toothy-faced son of a bitch, and I'm gonna kill him. And that whole moment whereby the Doctor's like, no, you can't. I don't approve of it. And he's like, I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. And it's like, oh, that's a really, that's a good character moment. But it's still one of those characters that is like, wait a minute, he just turned to the lead character in the show and just buried him. Like in wrestling terms, you just buried your face. The baby face just got buried, and your mid carder is now in the main event. So yeah, it's. They need to let off steam with Doctor Who now. They've tried really hard to make these really. They've done 2 really powerful episodes in Rosa and Demons of the Punjab. They need to pick up their feet and not try to be so serious. And that's been the problem, I feel, with this. Because if you go back and watch the David Tennant run, David Tennant era, and even the Matt Smith, and the Matt Smith, I always kept Matt Smith down. I forget how good he was, because every time I've gone back and rewatched Matt Smith's run, he's always got better and better and better. In my view, every single time that I've seen, like, he's still, as far as I'm concerned, he's got the best regeneration story in the 11th Hour. I don't think anyone's done a regeneration story that good. Not any one of them. Maybe the second, okay. But we're talking about the Power of the Daleks is a brilliant Doctor Who episode anyway. But if we're talking about go back and looking at like the David Tennant episodes and the David Tennant run, they were just fun. Yeah, they had some serious moments, but most of the time they were fun episodes, and they had some scares. I mean, Christ on a pissing bike, Blink. Like you want to talk about powerhouse? It is still widely regarded as the best ever episode of Doctor Who ever. And for good reason. And the Doctor's hardly in it. It's just well written. Yeah, he has a rerun style Doctor. I do like to rewatch his run. Granted, at first I didn't like him. Yeah, I was exactly the same. I wasn't really keen on Matt Smith. I didn't really latch on to Matt Smith as the Doctor. I think probably the episode that made me go, this guy's actually good, was probably, I'd say, the 6th season episode, The Doctor's Wife, where the TARDIS inhabits Saran Jones's body, and the character of Idris. Yeah, I think it was that episode. It was the end of that episode that made me go, Jesus, this guy's making me feel stuff. Blink is still one of my favorite eps. Yeah, Blink is just again, it's a banging episode. But again, these episodes are fun. Like I said, you look at Blink, and Blink is a fun run-around episode. It's a single one-off story that is just here's the situation, go with it. And I feel like they tried to do that with season 11, but there was too much focus on I don't want to say agenda-based stuff, but I mean, because I had a problem with that anyway, with the people saying that. But I think there was too much of a focus on the drama, and again, Chris Chibnall's style is to instead of pick one element and go with it, is to put 5 things into the episode and try to make all things happen all at the same time. So there's a juggling act going on, and that's no way to write the story, because again, you just don't get a firm finish to a story at all. You know, you've either got to rush the end, or you've got to rush the storytelling in the middle, and nothing ever gets. You can only spend 2 minutes dealing with this character issue, or you can only spend 2 minutes dealing with that, or dealing with that, or you end up shorthanding the story to where the Doctor just picks up the sonic screwdriver and goes, "There you are, that's fixed there," and you can't, you just can't do that with most. The way I look at what, if I was to look at sort of the best, my favorite episodes of anything, it's the idea that you pick a singular notion, and that's what you wrap the story around. And with anything, like one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation is an episode called Starship Mine. So it's a good example whereby you take the Enterprise has been abandoned due to this baryon sweep, and people are trying to nick stuff off the Enterprise. It doesn't matter what they're trying to nick. In the story, it's trilithium. So it's a very simple idea, but that's what the entire episode's about. And there are people trapped on board, and this baryon sweep is going to kill them. It's a ticking clock story. You have to get from this part of the ship to that part of the ship and stay alive. And you've got these people on board that are trying to kill you, and this whole thing is sweeping from the rear end of the ship to the front end of the ship. And if you don't get it in time, it's going to kill you. It's just a very simple story. Very simple in storytelling. It's very simple. But they wrap the entire episode around it. So you get all these fun moments where the crew is sort of this fish out of water bit, where they're on the starbase and they're at this reception. And you get all these fun, you can do all that because you're not expecting these characters to be there. You know, you expect them to be on board the Enterprise, but they're not because of this one idea. But it's a very effective tool. And if you've got too many things going on in the episode, if you've got this character's doing this, and this character's doing that, and this story element happens in between, and we've got this villain coming in from the side, and this is happening here, and the Doctor doesn't know what to do, it's a mess. It's a mess, and it stays a mess. And you get to the end of the episode, and it's like, well, okay, that was a 6, that was a 7 out of 10. And it's all because that it's not that there's too much to follow, it's just that they don't have enough time to tell that story to its maximum, to its completion. It's like they're trying to put in, a 2-hour movie idea into 50 to an hour story. So look here, I'm not knocking the new Doctor. I just like General Coleman. It's okay to knock the new Doctor if you want to. I mean, look. Jodie Whittaker is an amazing actress, right? I've said it before, right? I'm not gonna. If anybody thinks that the problem with Doctor Who is that Jodie Whittaker is a bad actress, then they don't know what they're talking about. Because I have seen that woman act, not in Doctor Who, not just in Broadchurch, but I have seen that woman absolutely tear it down in the theatre, and I know she can make walls move. I mean, seriously. She is an amazing actress. It's the stuff. It all starts with the script, and that's because here's the thing, right? When it comes to making a show, yes, budget will determine how well the set looks. Budget will determine how many actors you've got. Budget will determine what the costumes look like. They will determine what the VFX look like, what the props look like. But budget does not determine what happens in there when you take that pen and put it to paper. Because a pen will cost you if you go to an expensive shop, you can get a pack of pens, 5 for £1, and a pad you can get for £1. So for £2, you can get 5 pens and a pad, and you can write whatever universe you like, however big, however expansive, however crazy and brilliant that you want to make it. That's the cost, £2. And that's if you haven't even got your own pen. If you've got your own pen, then it's only going to cost you £1. So it all comes down to the writing, and I've said that from you know, I showed my son. I sat my son down and I made him watch Blake 7, because he said, look, here's the truth. Blake 7, as disco as you like, as the costumes look terrible, right? The VFX non-existent. Don't even bother. They look like fairy liquid bottles being thrown about on a black curtain. Awful looking visual effects. But I will guarantee you will sit down and watch that story and you'll go, piss in hell, who wrote this? And he did. And he has since watched season 1 of Blake 7. You know, because it's compelling storytelling. It's in the writing. Comes down to what is put on the paper that you are telling the audience these characters are doing. And if you can make the characters believable, and you can make these characters invested, then people will sit down and watch it. Okay, production values help, but it's the gloss, right? I mean, look, it's why I don't like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. It's why I'm not a massive fan of the new stuff. It's because a lot of it's to do with the flash and the bang and the sparkles. And it's not really to do with the characters. And the writing tends to be pap. That's the best way of going to put it. So anyway, I'm gonna leave that there now. That's resolution done. So the good of the episode was the Dalek and the fact that it managed to make the Daleks seem scary and actually bring some actual real sort of terror to the Dalek. Because, you know, you're dealing with a new audience here. There's bound to have been people who watched that episode who have never seen Doctor Who before. And I think if you're going to introduce the Daleks to a new audience, this was a cracking way of doing it. Again, it did copy the episode Dalek a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it did that pretty well. The bad part was, again, overcrammed, overbooked, so to speak. A little bit of a character faux pas for the Doctor, and a little bit of an absent character in Yaz. But again, it's 7 out of 10. If they removed the Ryan's dad stuff, it might have gone 8.5. But that's where I'm going to leave that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, I'm very, really happy for the guys in the chat. Thank you, guys, and Danny and Ken for jumping on the chat, because it was out of the blue. I wasn't actually planning on doing it. It just occurred to me that I hadn't done this review and this reaction, and it is Tom Baker's birthday, so I thought, what the hell it was Tom Baker's birthday, actually. That was yesterday, because it's now 12:10. Midnight, gone midnight. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me, guys, and hopefully I might be back next week. I've got to do a video reacting to Discovery, and what else is there? There's some. I've still got the Deep Space Nine video to do. I really am behind on that, mainly because my other PC is buggered up, so I really have problems making videos. That's why I'm doing these live streams, because it's easier to do live streams than it is to actually edit, because my other PC, the PCI slots are blown on my other PC, and I really can't edit video. So I've got to buy a new computer. Yay! Anyway, that's enough of my whining and complaining. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later, guys.